You think this was all about you finding him, but I have news for you. He wasn't lost. You hear people all the time go, that was the day I found the Lord. I go, why was he lost? No, that was the day he found you. See, you didn't choose him, he chose you. Jesus says to the disciples, I picked you out. You think you guys came and followed me, but the reality is the Father walked me past you. And when I walked past you, I grabbed a piece of the branch and I stuck it into the vine. And I've been cultivating and growing you ever since. And you don't look so great, and some of you are going to betray me, and some of you are going to deny me, and only one of you are going to be left with me at the foot of the cross. But I don't worry about it, because I know you guys are already clean by the words I've spoken to you, and you are attached to a vine. Now, if he can say this to Peter, who's about to deny him, and he can say this to a group of disciples who don't show up at his own death, what about you and me? And he can say to them, I didn't choose you, or you didn't choose me, I chose you. Just abide in the knowledge that I'm chosen by God. And this is a beautiful thing. You know, God chose you, and just live in that knowledge. It's a lot better for our pride to think that we found him. We finally wised up. We discovered God. But pride doesn't stand too well in the light of grace anyhow. It wasn't your works that found him. It was his finished work that found you. It was his work at Calvary in dying and resurrecting on your behalf that found you in a fallen state, in a needy state, in a mentally separated state. Notice I said mentally separated state, because Colossians says we were enemies in our minds from God. God wasn't our enemy. We made God out to be an enemy, and we did it up here because we didn't have the real knowledge of what he thought of us. So all of the ifs, and I'm just taking my time working this little patch of ground here in John 15, all of these ifs are not followed by your works. They're all followed by you abiding. Just live there. Just stay there. Just get in the vine and stay in the vine. And those effort, it's not about effort. It's not about doing. It's not about stuff. God provides whatever God demands. If God demands fruit, and believe me, he does, because let's not be mistaken, growth is not optional for God's people. Growth is natural for God's people. All right, when you get in a vine, when the branch gets in the vine, it's not maybe it will grow. It's in the vine. It will grow. You will grow as you journey in this journey of faith. That's natural. And if God's demanding much fruit, you had an if in front of much fruit. If God's demanding much fruit, how do you produce much fruit? There's no tree, there's no vine that produces fruit by stress, by thinking about it, by squeezing, by trying. They just abide. As long as I have an orange tree in my backyard, as long as that orange tree just abides, there's going to be some oranges. If that orange tree decides to stop abiding in my backyard, then it's going to have problems producing oranges. All right? So if it uproots itself and takes off running down the street, then there's really going to be a problem. Now that's a real scary if, isn't it? I should probably worry about that. If this tree uproots itself and runs down the street, it shall not produce fruit. And I ought to freak out about that if. Because God knows what a disaster that would be. Of course, it's silly. And I'm only using that idea because that's what Jesus' disciples would have thought. How could the branch not abide in the vine? It's where it belongs. Whatever God demands, God provides for. If God demands fruit, God's going to provide the fruit. I don't provide the fruit. I don't shake and tremble to provide the fruit. I'm just a fruit producer. It comes out in me. If you don't see the amount of fruit coming out of you that you want, just wait longer.